Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Last week, Mr. Ferguson opened us up to fasting during Lent and what it means to fast. How do we fast? What is fasting? This is the part of Lent where we give stuff up. We figure out what to give up, or we do something more, right? Oftentimes, fasting is like we give up chocolate or soda, stuff like that. But fasting, because this is a religious type of thing or a faith thing, fasting should have something to do with our spiritual health. Now, psychology tells us we have our mental health, physical health, environmental health, social health. Spiritual health is one of those things. And if we're not giving enough attention to it, well, we might be a little imbalanced in our approach to life, right? So things that we could fast for Lent to help us be more spiritually healthy. I think we said this in the first week. Anger, impatience, maybe our priorities are not in the correct order, so we could rearrange those things. Maybe we spend too much time on our cell phone, and because of that, we don't have enough time to pray. All these different things. Maybe we're gossiping at work, or we engage in gossiping, or there's rumors spreading around, or we swear, and so these things are taking away from us being more healthier in our spiritual lives. Well, what do we do with these things? Sometimes they're easy habits to break, sometimes they're more difficult. Jesus tells us that these negative behaviors, he labels them sins, right? We can be slaves to these behaviors, and not the slavery that we're talking about in human history that still stains our societies, and we're still trying to find social justice through those things. The slavery towards these behaviors and sins, these are things that we have a really hard time not doing, right? For example, I have a hard time not checking my phone. My wife will tell you that. Or, man, the smallest thing, sometimes I'll just be impatient with my kids. And or even all of us, we can sort of justify our reasons for continuing these behaviors, right? And that's not necessarily the best thing for us, because it impacts the people around us, right? So those are some things that we can give up for Lent spiritually. The Bible teaches us that Christ died on the cross to save us from these sins. So if we can recognize them, but we still continue to do them, well, then Christ is still on the cross, right? We don't allow him to be resurrected in our lives, in our hearts. The other thing is, if we continue to, let's say, spread rumors, swear, be impatient with people, that means we're not just saying it to those individuals directly. It means we're swearing at Jesus, or we're gossiping about Jesus, because Jesus also saved not only us, but that person that we're talking about as well, or that we're being rude to, or whatever the situation, right? So that's not good either, if you think about it from that perspective, right? I don't think we want to intentionally keep Christ on the cross. We want to experience the joy and the resurrection of Christ in our lives, in our moment-to-moment decisions. And so that's, even when Christ was on the cross, one of the last things he said was, "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do." And so when we read the story in the Bible, we think immediately about the people who are watching him be crucified. They're mocking him. They're taunting him. "Come down and save yourself. You said you were the Son of God." Christ is also talking to God on our behalf, because even in our day today, we are keeping him on the cross with these negative behaviors, right? And if you take us times 8 billion, you can see why and how easily this world can be so broken, right? Christ was also crucified with two people, one on his left, one on his right, two thieves, right? So we know the one thief, even moments from death, face to face with Jesus, mocks him and taunts him right there. Can you imagine being that guy? Yeah? And then the other guy, the other thief, recognizes and says that his punishment is justified and asks Jesus, and essentially asking for forgiveness. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And what does Jesus say? He says, today you will be with me in paradise. No prophet or person in the Old Testament, in the Bible, was guaranteed paradise the way the thief was on the cross moments from death. No one, not Abraham, not Moses, not Noah. The thief, and we don't know anything about the thief. We know he did something wrong to be crucified, but that might have been his first and only time he ever prayed in his whole life, moments from death. So what does that teach us? It teaches us that any time is a good time to reflect, to think, to ask for forgiveness, and be a better person, to make better choices. These two thieves represent every moment of our life where we face a conflict or a challenge. Every moment we can be the thief who chooses to stay chained to the sins, to the ignorance, to ignore the salvation that comes from Jesus. We can stay chained to those sins and those behaviors and that perspective of life. Or we can be the good thief to reflect, to take a moment and to say, Jesus, forgive me, remember me, help me be a better person. Okay, the choice is ours to make every day. We have the keys to our own freedom through this spiritual health, these behaviors. It's our choice to unlock those chains or to keep them chained. Okay, it takes a little bit of prayer, it takes a little bit of inner reflection, and that's why fasting is such an important part of Lent, to help us through these things. Wow, this got a little long. I'm so sorry. But I hope you enjoyed the message. May peace be with you. Have a good day. See you next time.